guys, so I am going to show you how to do a missing eye for a zombie look, specifically, but if you want to be creative with it and use it for a different kind of look, I know I've used it in a couple of different scenarios. It's really fun and it looks super good. It's very impressive. So one thing I'm going to say before I begin, this look requires you to get some makeup pretty close to your eye. So if you are not confident with using liquid latex or spirit gum, I would highly recommend getting familiar with using those techniques before you try this look, because the last thing you want is liquid latex or spirit gum in your eye, especially liquid latex, because liquid latex has ammonia in it and also it's latex. So what I've done is I've taken a pair of like literally 50-cent nylons, black nylons from Walgreens or Rite Aid or whatever, the ones that come in a little capsule and they rip like as soon as you get them, and I cut out an eye patch, which I sort of basically measured so that it goes all the way across my eyebrow and I can pull it down to my cheek there. And I've already cut it out. You can cut it out as a square. I've rounded off the edges a little bit, so it has a little bit more of a round feeling. So you're going to need that. You're going to need liquid latex. You are going to need some paper towel. And I use scar wax as well. I got this on Amazon. I broke the lid. It's fine. Scar wax can be a little bit tricky to work with, so get familiar with that before you begin as well, because it can be really frustrating if you don't quite know how to use it. I like to have baby wipes on me as well when I use it, because I find that the scar wax is easier to manipulate if I have hands that aren't dry. I am also going to use spirit gum. Spirit gum's nice because it also comes with spirit gum remover, so I can get it close to like my eyebrow, for example, where my hair is, and I don't have to like rip it out and hurt.
No free eyebrow wax today.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to wax my eyebrows. I like the shape that they are. It's important, I just read this online, it is important to use the same brand of spirit gum remover as the spirit gum that you bought, because each brand of spirit gum remover is formulated specifically for that brand of spirit gum. So if you're using a different kind of spirit gum remover, it may not work as well. Yeah, so I've got paper towel, I've got my scar wax, and then just basic face paint, whatever colors you want to do, that is fine. So, we're going to start by affixing the patch up here first, and then I'm going to slowly move around my eye. I'm going to use the spirit gum first, because that is the safest to get near my eye, because it doesn't want to like drip all over the place. So spirit gum comes with a little brush applicator in the cap, and I just want to kind of wipe it off. I don't want to put too much spirit gum on. And then I'm going to brush it up right underneath my eyebrow here. It smells kind of bad, so get ready. Latex smells worse though.
It does, it's really bad.
It's because it's got ammonia in it. So, spirit gum, got it in there, and I want to wait about 20 seconds for it to set. And then I actually want to take my finger and just lightly tap it until it feels really tacky. Spirit gum is not like a normal glue. You need to tap it to get the adhesive to work. This is a step that a lot of people skip, and that's what makes spirit gum really frustrating for a lot of people, is they're like, I can't get it to stick. It's because they're not activating the adhesive. So I'm just going to press the patch down like that into all the places where I just put the spirit gum. And it should stay just fine. If you're finding that it's wanting to peel away, you can brush a little bit of spirit gum over the top of where you just put it down, because it's nylon and it's porous and it'll help stick it down. So it's going to look like that. This look works a lot better if you have deep set eyes. If you have eyes that are kind of more bulgy, the patch is going to kind of brush up against your, what are they called? Eyelashes. There we go. I almost said eyeball hairs, and I knew that was wrong.
We appreciate eyeball hairs too.
It's going to brush up against your eyelashes and feel bad. So, just be aware that this is not a look that works on everybody. I don't want this light right in my face. Okay, better. As you can see when I stretch it, you can see my eye a little bit through it. That's just fine. I use this for zombie and the light is a little bit lower in there, so you can't really tell. If you're finding that you're in kind of a high visibility place, or there's like fluorescent lights like we have in this office building, you can actually paint with just regular black face paint underneath before you stick it down. And that will make it less visible, make your eye less visible through the nylon. I'm sure if I bought more opaque tights, I could do it without my eye being visible, but then you would start to run into me not being able to see.
Right, yeah, be careful, you still want to be able to see.
Yeah, this is nice, it's just like wearing sunglasses. So the next thing I'm going to do is just kind of continue sticking it down. And of course I'm going to reiterate, I talked about this a little bit in the last, there's a fly in here, the last part of the video, but you always want to do a patch test before you start working with any kind of makeup that you've never used before. Especially with things that don't normally go on your face, like latex or spirit gum. Because the last thing you want is to be putting on your Halloween makeup and then have to go to the hospital because you are an anaphylactic shock. So, just be aware that latex is something that a lot of people are allergic to. Spirit gum, not so much, but it's a weird thing that people don't normally put on their faces. So
just test it. Usually on your wrist.
Yeah. So you want to put it on a place with sensitive skin, like your wrist or behind your ear is another really good place for it. And leave it on there. Don't cover it or anything for about 2 hours. And if there's, I'm just trimming this up. Be really, really careful if you do this. Yeah, leave it on there for about 2 hours to see if you have any kind of reaction. If you react to it at all, don't use it because it could mean that you are allergic to that thing. Okay. Funny story, I used to have braces, and I had rubber bands on my braces because my teeth were all kinds of messed up, and I developed these like wounds on the inside of my mouth from the rubber bands, and my orthodontist told me, oh, it's because you're allergic to latex. Rubber bands are made out of latex. I was like, I don't think that's the case.
Either way, that's kind of horrifying.
Yeah, it was pretty nasty. And I was like, I don't think that's the case because, I'm like around balloons all the time and I've done latex for makeup and stuff before. And he was like, no, it's because you're allergic to latex. We'll get you the latex-free kind. So I got the latex-free kind. I looked like the Joker, but inside out.
Oh.
And I got the latex-free kind and it still hurt my mouth. Turns out your mouth doesn't like it when there's like weird apparatuses inside.
Constantly. And this is fine to do on its own too, because trust me, it's gross enough all by itself. You can just do this, throw on some icky clothes, and you're good to go.
Yep. I just like to be extra. Okay, so we've got the patch on there. It is all affixed and it feels like it's going to stay, so there's nothing else I really want to do to that. It is brushing up against my eyelashes a little bit, my eyeball hairs, if you will. But that is okay. So the next thing I'm going to do is start doing some scar wax, and I'm not going to do the whole thing because it takes a while. Scar wax looks like this. It's kind of hard and it's tricky to work with. So the thing that I learned about scar wax really early on is that if you knead it and roll it too much, it gets really warm and then it gets melty, and then it doesn't want to do what you want it to do. So I was getting really frustrated with it because I was thinking of it like clay, where the more you knead it, the more you can do with it. This is not the case. You want to hit kind of that sweet spot where it's like it's malleable and a little bit sticky, but it's not so sticky that you can't do anything with it. So what I'm doing is I'm taking this baby wipe and I'm kind of wiping it all over my hands so that my hands are a little bit wet and the scar wax doesn't want to stick to it as much. And that way I can kind of get it into... Remember in like preschool when you made little pinch pots and they were like, oh, make a little snake. That's what you want to do now. You want to make a little snake. Less is really more with scar wax. The more you have, the more you have to blend it, and it takes forever. So I'm going to take the scar wax and I'm going to put it just on the edges of where the eyeball is going to be. The nice thing about scar wax too is you can also blend that up into your eyebrow and it's not going to pull your eyebrow out. It takes some doing to get it out of your eyebrow, but it's definitely not going to
rip your hair out.
And then what I'm doing is I'm blending it over the side of the patch and onto my skin.
I'm gonna come around on this side so they can see once you've got it.
And then I just kind of roll the side of it. Just like that.
You turn towards me just a second. Perfect. Yeah, just like that.
Just like that. And so in a perfect world, if we had more time, I would do the whole thing all the way around my eye. But for our purposes today, I'm not going to do that. What I am going to do is add a little bit extra where you can see the black really clearly.
And again, just like with all of our videos, this is a lot of practice, which is the cool thing about makeup because you can always practice.
Yeah, and especially the nice thing about zombie makeup, and I said this in my other video too, is if you mess up, you haven't actually messed up. Because zombies look gross all the time.
All the time.
And if you mess something up, you just throw some blood on it and say you meant to do that. Okay, so in a perfect world I would do this all the way around my eye, but you see how it kind of covers up the black there. And the next thing I'm going to do is put a little bit of setting powder on it. I lied, that's another implement you probably ought to have. You don't need setting powder, but it helps. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little bit of too much setting powder on my hand, right there, and kind of dab my makeup sponge into it on the side that's not green from this morning. And just powder the wax a little bit. I'm going to try really hard not to get it in the patch.
If you do, again, not the end of the world. It's okay. The nice thing about powder is it wipes away pretty easy, and honestly, you're gonna add blood and stuff, so if people are looking that close, then they're really invading your bubble.
Yeah. And the reason I'm powdering the wax is because it makes it easier to paint. Okay. See, I got a little bit on the patch there, but if I do this.
Ta-da!
Yeah. So that's powdered. The paint's going to stick to it a lot more. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the pale tone on this Ben Nye Death Wheel. First I'm going to wipe the excess wax off of my fingers because otherwise it can be sticky forever.
And Ben Nye's cream, so if you have sensitive skin or if your skin doesn't like oily type of makeup, Ben Nye's might not be the best one to use.
You might try what would you say, like a water-based?
Yeah, water-based, like face paint. Ben Nye is definitely stage makeup.
So it's really thick.
Mm-hmm. So it works really well and it blends really well, but it is very thick, oily makeup. They are yelling for me. I was gone for 7 days and I come back.
We missed you. So what I'm doing is I'm just kind of adding a fleshier tone to the wax, so it's not just white. And as you can see, the places where the wax is naturally kind of cracked, they won't have as much flesh tone on them. That is okay, because I'm going to work with that. So just like that, and then I take a little bit of the red here, just a teeny tiny bit, and kind of dab it on more of a brown, and blend it in.
Will you turn towards me for just a second? Yes, just like that.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot, just a little.
And it's okay if it's a different color than your face. If you really want it to look like exactly the same color as your face, you can use a cream foundation or a concealer that matches your skin tone. But I find that actual makeup doesn't like scar wax as much as face paint does.
Interesting.
So it's going to take a little bit more doing to get it to stick to the scar wax. So now that that's kind of blended in, I can get started putting wounds into it.
Always
and
the best part.
I'm not going to put too many because we are kind of low on time. But basically what you want to pay attention to is where that wax is cracked. And where it kind of has natural like divots in it like this, and if I was going to be picky and went up here, I would put one kind of here, and I'm going to use latex and paper towels, as you have seen in some of our other videos, to make kind of scratches or wounds that come out and are more red. So that's going to kind of give it the appearance that you've either like taken your eye out or the eye has been removed forcibly for some reason. But since we have that kind of wounding that we've demonstrated in our other videos, and I'm kind of low on time, I am just going to show you the very basics of how I get that started. So what I start with is a darker red from, this is the Bruise Wheel, I think. So I take this darker red, and the first thing I want to do is kind of irritate what's the skin, like right around where the eye is gone.
Excuse the camera in the shot, guys. I'm not a videographer.
It's okay, it's a big mirror. You should be looking at me anyway. And then I'm going to use the lighter red. So that gives it the appearance that the skin around it is like inflamed and upset, because there's supposed to be an eyeball there. And what I'm gonna do is use the lighter red alternating with the darker red, and the dark red is gonna help me deepen the creases and the cracks in the wax. And the lighter red is going to help me blend it out into the rest of my skin. And I'm going to start moving it down away from the wax as well, just to maybe imply that there's a little bit of infection happening. It's, moving outwards from the injury point. That's what infections do.
Now the cool thing about gross makeup is that uniformity is not what you want.
Exactly.
It looks more realistic when it's diverse.
Mm-hmm. So that's kind of the main idea. What you can also do with something like this is you can throw a nice bruise on there instead of going with the red. So what you want to do for a bruise is start with the darkest and work your way to the lightest. So the darkest point would be where the bruise started. So I would start the bruise here with like a purple or a dark red. And I would start purple here and kind of blend it outwards, and then go with a red around the edges of that purple and blend it out. And then use a green and a yellow and blend it out even further. So the bruise would actually end around here. but it would be light enough to like a yellow point, whereas you can't necessarily see it unless you're looking really hard. But if you're looking for a more like the eye is infected look, a great way to do that is to get a Q-tip all nasty like this, and then just kind of brush kind of veiny patterns on. And if it goes too dark, just blend it out.
Don't be afraid to use your fingers.
I use my fingers more than I use tools.
You can already tell how really like awesome and nasty that's looking.
Yeah, and all I would do to continue this is just keep on going until it's all the way around my eye. And then I can, zombie it up and people will scream and say that's really gross. And then everybody will be super jealous and say, wow, how did you do that? And you'll be the best one at the makeup party.
And don't forget to add blood.
Yes, don't forget to add blood.
All the blood.
This is a good blood-free look as well.
Definitely.
If you don't want to do blood, but a little bit of sticky blood goes a long way. As far as removal goes, baby wipes will take the wax right off, as well as the paint makeup wipes work really well too. What you want to do for the spirit gum is kind of saturate a part of a cotton ball with the spirit gum remover that we talked about, and just lightly dab it onto a very specific point on the patch until that part comes up, and then you can get underneath it and just keep on removing the patch. And then you do want to wash your face really well afterwards and go over it with a makeup remover wipe or a baby wipe just to make sure you got everything off. But spirit gum, in my experience, has been pretty easy to remove. I could actually probably just peel this if I wanted to, but I don't want to hurt my eyebrow.
We appreciate it.
And that's about all I have for you guys.
Yeah, so check out her other video of the basic zombie makeup.
Yeah, the basic zombie makeup is a good one to put on, and then you can layer this one over the top of it.
Check out our other videos as well. We have one for a cool Princess Peach arcade look and a cool way to make a mask as well. Check out Instagram for some cool photographs as well, and hopefully we'll see you guys on Halloween.
Yes, we will.
Thanks, guys. Bye.